Welcome. In this video, I'll do a quick demo of Security Upgrade Advisor tool for Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012. As you know, security architecture in AX 2012 has gone through significant revisions since AX 2009. So the settings you had in AX 2009 or AX 4.0 will not automatically upgrade to this version. This tool aims to simplify that process through automation. One thing to note, however, is the tool is not designed to be a single-click solution. It rather allows you to get to security baseline, from where you should iteratively review and fine-tune your settings. One thing I do not show here is the first step in the process, where you export security settings from legacy system. It is just a matter of running the export job. So we'll skip that for now. We'll start with the import process in AX 2012. Let's go over to our tool. Using the tool is very straightforward. We need to first import the Security Upgrade Advisor tool AX model file into AX 2012. Before we import it, let me shut down Microsoft AOS Server. Go to Services, Microsoft Dynamics, AX, and stop this. Once it's stopped, the next thing we need to do is change the layer to user layer. Security Upgrade Advisor tool ships in user layer, thus working in that layer will simplify things. Let's go to developer, user, and change OK. Now let's go over to our command line and use AX utility to import our model file. For that, go to Program Files, Microsoft 6.0, Management Utilities, and AX util. So we want to import. So the file we want is C users desktop and Security Upgrade Advisor. So import it. Once imported, let's start back our AOS server. Once it is started, let's launch the Dynamics AX developer. Once loaded, we need to compile and synchronize the project that we just imported. So let's skip this for now. Go over to our model, select Security Upgrade Advisor, go to View, Project, and open up Security Upgrade Advisor project. Once the project open, we need to first compile the project and then synchronize all the tables that we have. Select all the tables and right-click Synchronize. Also synchronize the table in the Privilege Generator tool. And the tool is ready for use. Before we get started with the tool, one thing I recommend is creating a new model and working in that model. The reason for that is it allows you to export the model into a different environment, or you can delete this particular model and restart if needed. We'll call this Security Upgrade Settings. Set as current model, click OK. And then go over to our Upgrade Advisor tool and go over to Security Upgrade Wizard. As I mentioned earlier, this is the second step in the process. The first step, you'd run a job in AX 2009 or AX4 system to export out your XML file. Once you have the XML file, you come to this wizard to import that particular XML file in AX 2012. So let's start. The first step, as I mentioned, is where you import the security settings from 2009. For this, I'll use AX 2009 demo data project. So I already have the XML file from 2009. I'll just import that. Once it finishes importing, the second step of the process is you find security matches in 2012. Just click Next. After that, now you map the existing user groups to custom roles. Up to this point, no metadata in AOT has been modified. This is all happening in a temporary table. And then let's export the upgraded security suggestions into a temporary table. As you can see, the grid here lists out all the security settings that was found or not found by comparing it to AX 2009 system. So before we go any further, let's export it out into Excel. You can do that by pressing Ctrl-T. So once in Excel, you'll be able to review the security settings to your liking. One of the ways I like to review it is look at the status columns. This tells you which one are deprecated, which one is no entry point found, or which one is exact match and similar matches. The one you should be looking at are the exact matches and similar matches. Make sure it is the one that you intended it to be. Another view I'd like to look at is go to Pivot, click OK, click on Status, and bring entry point name. As you can see, there are 322 items that have been deprecated and it requires no action. And there are 2,951 exact matches and 19 similar matches. Similarly, there's 291 no matching privilege found. This is the one you'll be creating custom privileges for. So now let's go back to our tool and say click Generate Privileges. The privilege generation wizard starts up. Let's click Next. Let's put optional prefix as demo. This will be the prefix for your privilege name. And click Next. It now gives you a preview of all the privileges it's about to create. All the 291 items that had status of no matching privilege found earlier is the one that will be created. So let's go back to the privilege generation wizard and click Next. So the privilege generation is complete. Now click Finish, and it will take you back to this second step of the security upgrade wizard. The reason for that is once the privilege is created, you need to rerun through the security upgrade wizard so that it finds all the privileges that it just created. So now let's create next. Click Next again. Click Next to map the user groups to custom roles. And then click Next to export settings. Now let's look at this settings in Excel one more time. Book 2, what I'm going to do just to show you is pivot again, bring out the status and the entry point name. So this time you'll notice that there are no items with no matching privilege found. That means we created all the privileges that we need. Let's go back to the AX and we'll go back to the AOT. Let's do open new window, privileges, and refresh this. As you can see, these are all the privileges that it just created. So we are still not done yet. Once we create the privileges, the final step of the process is to create custom roles. So when you click Next on the Security Upgrade Wizard, it presents you with multiple options to choose from. First one is include similar matches in custom role. So this particular item is based on the status similar. So for any items, let's go back here, filter by similar. So any items that's with the status similar matches, you can choose to include it or exclude it. The way you choose is basically depending on if the settings you see are acceptable or not. For example, this menu item, bank account table list page, originally had full control access. However, we were only able to find create permissions. So if you think the create permission is enough for this particular item, then you'd include that in the custom role. If you prefer to add it manually, then just check that box. Another option is Prefix Legacy domain name. Let's look at the example again. In AX 2009, there was a concept of domain which is no longer available in AX 2012. You could have a situation where same role name could exist in multiple domains. For example, workflow execution account group. So you could either choose to create multiple roles prefixed with a domain name, or you can take all the roles with the same name and merge it into one role without the domain name prefix. For this purpose, I'll just select that as prefix and include similar matches as well. So the last option is optional prefix for custom role. And let's put demo again and click next. So at this point, your privilege generation and custom role generation process is complete. So let's close the wizard, go back to AOT, security, roles, and refresh this. So the two roles it just generated is synchronization administrator and workflow execution account group. As you can see, it prefixed demo that I just typed in. It also prefixed the domain name, and finally the user group name came out as a role name. Let's look at the privileges. These are all the privileges that it found for this particular user group and associated with the custom role here. At this point, you pretty much have similar security settings from AX 2009 in AX 2012 system. We advise you to review all the settings suggestions the tool just generated and assign the roles it generated to a user and test out all the scenarios to make sure the settings are what you intended. Hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching.